hope everyone is having a good day. That's it. Because it's my phone where I am. Can I just make an observation? I go to YouTube because I like to watch, the registers and different things. So I keep seeing 10 signs she's not into you, 5 signs he's not listening, like all these different relationship videos. But when you look at what channel, they offer channel names, but 9.5 times out of 10, the person giving the talk is not a relationship coach. I don't know where you get licensed for that. Not a marriage counselor, not any type of counselor, not any sort of psychologist or psychiatrist. Not even a pastor or a pastor's wife, but a lot of what I've seen. I'm not saying they're not out there. I'm just saying about what I've seen. Because I'm not really into that, so it doesn't really appear on my feed. 9 times out of 10, if I'm watching another video, it'll pop up as a recommendation. When you take advice from people, you need to make sure that the advice you get is from a source you can at least halfway see sense in. Notice I didn't say trust. I said halfway see sense in. Because generally in a relationship, you can give common sense advice. Maybe a person's so deep into a situation they cannot see, and when you give them the common sense advice, it's like, right, blah, 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 eureka. I know what I have to do. That can be done with friends, family. You don't need the internet for that. But also, I think you really should be mindful of the fact that every time you take advice from anybody, friend, spouse, family member, pastor, anybody, take the advice prayerfully. Now, notice I didn't say with a grain of salt. I said prayerful. Because even people you know love can give you bad advice, not meaning to, but advice can only be given advice can be given at any point without knowledge. There are people like, let me just put my 2 cents in. Do they really need to do that? No. Should they do that? Hell no. Do they stop? Hell no again. But you should take every source, every piece of advice prayerfully. You ever know those people, if you want my advice or if I wanted your advice, I'd ask you for it? There are certain people, and I've had this happen in my life, who will come to me for advice, and I give them advice, and then they get mad and want to go. Well, I'm not going to coddle you. I'm not your babysitter, nor am I your parent. For most times, I'm the peer. We're peers, and so when I give you advice, after you came to me for it, notice I did not offer it. You came to me, you brought the issue to me. I gave you the advice to the best of my ability. You sit up in my face, tell me I'm wrong, get angry, and walk away. Why come to me then? Why come to me? Asking for advice is not an echo chamber, or at least it shouldn't be. You shouldn't be asking for advice to hear, you're right, and everything's going to be fine if you do that. No. Well, if you thought that, why ask for advice? Everything's going to turn out fine. Why go to the other person? Validation? Oh, some of y'all Christians like to use the term confirmation. Oh, and I told Sister so-and-so, she said she believes certain thing, and we got confirmation. That's a lot of times what you need. It's human nature to want it. It's just what we tend to want. And so we generally ask for advice. Not always seeking advice. Sometimes we're just seeking validation. But I'm letting it be known, people, if you come to me for advice, you will get advice. I will not cop. I will not, be like, but that's okay when you come to me for advice. I have to be not harsh, but I have to be truthful. I have to be honest, Because if I value you in my life at all, I cannot purposely let you go astray, nor can I lead you astray. So if I do not have the answer, and I'm like, we can pray about it, go to scripture, elder so-and-so, or, I know you can't talk about this with your you feel, but I think if you blah, blah, blah. That's okay too, but I just hate it when people come to you for advice and get mad at you when you give it to them. And that's why I told some people, I did make it clear that I just would say nothing. And when I say I'm going to say nothing, the phrase I use is launch it. I say I'm just going to launch it. I'm going to let you do what you want to do in your life. Okay? Because I know that whatever I say is going to be taken out. Because I just approached the subject numerous times, and every time I try to give you advice that you ask for, you get angry. So now I'm going to launch you. And this has happened to me in real life. I've launched you. Now, the problem with these online is that people generally seem to see them as some sort of guru. They have knowledge that most people don't have. Peel back the curtain, folks. Peel back the curtain and see the mess on the other side. Now tell me, do you want advice from these people? I mean, it'd be different if they were like, hey, I messed up. Don't do what I did. Here's a story about what I did. Don't do that. That's different. I've been through hell, learned my mistakes. I'm warning you before you get to where I am. Also, these people are very valid in their advice. They should give advice on the things they've suffered or been through, because it might warn some people ahead to avoid some things. And then, that may enable them to be able to fix whatever they need to fix. Those people on YouTube, I have no problem with, because they're speaking from their own experiences. And they're not trying to make it seem like everybody should just do this, or it's always going to work out this way. I have a problem with relationship gurus because you don't know. You see them online. You are not part of their inner circle. You have no idea what goes on behind closed doors. You are taking their advice, which has no basis in your life, and applying it to your life and your situation. But every situation is different. And the advice, I usually tell people, but you know what? Try this, or, this is what I've done. I don't try to make it seem like this is the line they should do, and that's all they should do. Because every situation is different. Am I pushy sometimes? Yeah, but before I get overly pushy, I give up. I'm like launch here, because I'm not going to have you mad at me for the advice you want to. I'll make sure I've given you the cursory version enough times so that when it falls through, which we all know will, because when you're asking for advice, and when you ask for advice, people don't just hear the situation. Normally, they also hear your thoughts on the situation, so they can gauge where you're headed, and so they know how to tailor their advice. When you've given a person that really wants to help you all that info, and they try to give you the Cliff Note version of the advice, because they don't want to seem pushy, or, okay, well, maybe if I word it differently, not for you to go and do what they said outright, because nobody has to, but the fact of the matter is, when you give advice, warmly, genuinely, not trying to do anything, and they get mad and they want to fight over the advice they asked for, launch it. Not only do you launch it, you don't even bring up that they asked you for advice that you ever gave it. Because you're launching. You will sip your soda, eat your popcorn, and watch the train wreck happen. And when you watch the train wreck happen, can't nobody say nothing. But sometimes they do. Sometimes they come back. Well, if you knew, why didn't you tell me? I have tried to warn you. And you would not use it. When I even said, if you don't believe me, go to this person. Give them the same scenario. And listen to what they have to say. And you've done that, and two people agree that don't even really know each other, but they know of each other through you. It's on you. Because why ask for advice you're not going to take? Or, like I said, take every piece of advice forever. But why ask for advice and then get angry upon receiving it? Now, there are cases where you might ask for advice, and somebody's hostile, passive aggressive, or deliberately giving you bad advice to mess you up. And some of you will be able to tell that right away. They will be giving you advice, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, if I do this, now you also got to remember you're human. And although you're asking for advice about the situation, you're currently in the situation. So you also got to remember, I'm in the situation. Advice can be tailored. Application of advice can also be tailored. And you have to make the decision, if I do X, Y, and Z, and it plays out badly, what are my options? How could it look badly? Also, the person you're going to for advice, you can be given bad advice by your best friend, your parents, your family. It's across the board. It doesn't really mean anything in a relationship with you, but it can happen regardless. Not saying that people are maliciously out to get you everywhere you go, but be advised that not everybody that smiles in your face is really in your corner. I mean, that whole song Backstabbers told you pretty much what people will do. And my thing is, people cling to these internet personalities like, I know everybody was like, but he committed this, who cares? And you cheat is still despicable. Despicable. But him and Kevin Samuels, especially all these channels, women are like, women are trash and blah, blah, blah. She better be the traditional controlled up. Let's just stop it right there. My grandmother was a traditional what? But my granddaddy knew better than to treat her like she was dumb and didn't have a voice in their marriage. He knew better because he valued his own life. My grandmother was the height of a traditional woman. Cook, clean. She didn't get a job until after her children were well in school age. And then her husband, the man of the house, told her to keep all her earnings. Still paid every bill, made sure nobody left. But still told her to keep all her earnings because he wanted her and his children to be good if he ever acted up. He was a man who realized that, situations in life happen and the man's head can get turned around. And he never wanted his wife and his children to be destitute off of his bad decision. So I gotta ask you, in all honesty, is that really what you want? Like, these folks that tell you to treat, their partner like trash because they're beneath you? And blah, blah, blah. Or the other flip side, you have women talk about, get that money, use him, abuse him, whatever, he's man, his job is, no, honey. See, I think the real disconnect comes into, like you see, man took woman on date to a Cheesecake Factory or someplace like that, and she turned up her nose. She was stupid. You have, these men who dress like bums, look like bums, and act like bums, inviting you to dinner, but wanting you to pay for them. Now, I don't mind paying for myself if that's what we agreed upon before the date, but I'm not paying for anything with the penis. No. No, sir. No way. Because if you claim to be the man, then the man also has the wallet, and the wallet should pay the bills. Because, see, as a woman, I know for a fact I can pay my own bill when we go out to eat. I pay my own bills. I'm not asking you to pay my bills. I'm asking you, if we're in a relationship, to be a partner. And I hear this back and forth, we need this. We independent women. We all, no, honey. First of all, fix your language. It's we are, or I am, but you're so uneducated, both in knowledge of book learning and in how to govern yourself throughout life, that you are just so gung-ho